I've been wanting like hell to go out and work on the car, but the temperature just turned super cold.
Yeah.
So, it dipped into in the 40s during the day. Just a couple of weeks ago, it was in the 80s or 90s. And anyway,
right.
it just, the temperature just crashed. And so I'm not a fan of cold temperatures. My wife is.
Yeah.
She likes it when it's cool. But anyway, I can't handle it. So anyway, so that's put a damper on things,
Right. No, I hear you. I'm trying to see if there's a way.
Getting so it's just it's just a matter of getting older and that crap.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. Let's see.
You look so much like your dad.
I hear that all the time. The only difference is he had blue eyes and mine are brown. Or mine are actually a brownish hazel, but yeah. And then my brother sounds like my dad. If you talk to my brother, he sounds like, if you talk to him on the phone, he sounds identical to my father.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there's probably a reason for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's called bloodlines.
Genetics. Yeah.
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 Anyway.
So, I didn't write down any kind of script or anything. I went ahead and hit record here. I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to get. We'll probably have to connect again and go over it another time if I don't get it all. But it's funny, with all the FE people that I connect with through all the different social media outlets on the internet, I'm amazed at how many people know who you are. They remember you. They either knew you from being a national record holder and obviously being a big contender in Division 7. But it's really amazing to hear, to talk to people and say, yeah, we know who Greg Foreman is, or we've heard of Greg Foreman, or Greg Foreman's the guy that had that real killer 427 Fairlane out on the West Coast. And I know there are people who didn't know you, but knew of you. And this would be their chance to actually see who Greg Foreman is, the human being, knowing that you're actually a human, that you actually live and breathe and, have a life. You had mentioned when you first started racing the Fairlane, it was a GTA car, correct? A 390 car? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was a 4-speed car, GT.
Okay. A GT 390 or actual 427 car?
390.
Okay. And then I wonder if I can. I've been trying to figure out how to share the pictures because Rick Shute took some photos back when I think it was red, when you had your name on the door like in fine letters.
I don't remember my name being on a door when it was red, but
here. Let me see if I can.
That was the factory color.
Yeah, it's a black and white picture, and I had thought that I'd heard at one time that it was red. Let me see if I can get the picture to come up here. This thing is oh, here we go. It's not that one.
I know there's a couple pictures somewhere of the car when it was a stock paint job. So
right, that's the one I'm referring. There we go. Let me see if this see if I can get this to work here, which it's probably not going to do.
Oh,
yeah, it was a night. Huh. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's the one. It's the one I guess you had a primer in the back, and what I was looking at was right here on the. Oh, I don't have you can't see it, but it's. I don't know if you could see my mouse. Is my mouse arrow moving around on your screen or no?
I can't see it.
Okay. I could see, you know, how you have that black stripe at the bottom
Yeah.
of the car, right above there. It's, let me see if I can expand it. There we go. It's kind of hard to read, but I could tell it says, I guess it says owner driver Greg Foreman on the doors. And this was, oh, this was when you first started. This is after you put the 427 in it, I
No,
believe.
the car was never red with the 427.
Okay.
I went with the Greg and Diane Foreman paint job, and then all white paint job after I left her.
Right. Okay. I remember when you painted it white. Actually, that was when we all met. I remember seeing you at one of the meetings at the dealership with Charla. And then you had the car on the back of the ramp truck, and then I remember seeing you run the car when Dad joined the club before I actually met you, you know, when we were formally introduced.
Right.
And then I had come around, I think it was after you put the fiberglass hood on it, you know, the fresh air hood.
Right.
And then it was not long after that, I think, is when you got it painted.
Ted Wells got me that hood.
Really?
Yeah. Don't know who he got it from, but I can't remember. I think it was the Winter Nationals 77. I went out to run and they wouldn't let me run because they said all 66 Fairlanes with 427s had fiberglass hoods. And I had gone to the trouble to find a flat steel hood. And
right.
And that's what I had on the car. I didn't have the stock, 390 GT hood. And
right.
Anyway, but they wouldn't let me run the race. So anyway, so shortly after that, the hood showed up, and I got the hood and installed it, and time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, now we're trying to figure out why my page isn't going to change here.
Oh yeah, look at that! I see a permanent number on the window, 7534.
Right, and it says A stock.
Yeah, that was my first. That was my first permanent number, and then I applied to NHRA to get my 7427 number.
Right, there it is.
There it is. Yeah,
that's when you had your
Greg and Diane
lettering right with your old number, and I think this was right about. It's actually you had the super tricks on it when I remember seeing it for the first time. Yeah. So it was right after this. This must have been around 1975, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the guy that did that paint job was our dealer rep, the Wilson Ford Drag Club dealer rep at Wilson Ford.
Oh, really? Okay.
If you look at the rear fender, you can see it says J&R Customs.
Yes, sir. I see it.
And that's who that guy was. I can't remember his name anymore. I don't know if it was Jim or what it was. Anyway.
Let's see here.
But this is before, actually, this still has a flat steel hood. So that was before I even had the fiberglass hood.
Oh, the old picture is the last one. Okay, it's another one about that same time when you had the steel wheels on the back.
Yeah.
Another one. Okay, and this is how it was. I remember that was at Fremont.
This looks like the Fremont picture.
Yeah, and that's when you were running it in B stock when you added the weight to it. That was that era between you and Waldo when you guys were when you were essentially locking horns with the national record.
Yeah.
I remember you had the A stick record for quite a while, and you'd reset it a couple times, if I'm not mistaken. And then you had Jim, I believe, had the B stick record for quite some time. Okay, and then you went after it, and then he ended up getting the A stick record not long after you had set the B record, if I remember correctly. Does that sound about right, or do you remember?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay.
That's a lot of history in that photo. This is Sacramento.
Yep, that's it, and that's I guess that's Jim Cost across the way in his Oldsmobile.
Yeah.
Yep. And this is how the car was right after we met. That was
Right.
yep. And I could look at the dial and I can tell that was when you were basically on the record. That was when it was, you had a 1113 on the window. And
Yeah.
the hood was still primer. I don't think you put that hood on and then had the whole car painted. I think it was always primer when it was lettered like this.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's Pomona. I think I was there with you for that race. That's either 78 or 79. 70
must have
Go
been
ahead.
78. I
The
think it was
car
78.
when you had it painted all white, was that 78 or 79? I don't remember now. I'm trying to remember when you had it painted.
I think I painted it pretty soon after Diana and I split. So
Right.
my guess is it was 78.
Okay.
Because I wanted to get her name off of it as fast as I could and get,
Right.
get Char and the kids' names on it. So.
Yeah. And that was okay. That was 79. I remember that. Yeah. You know what? No, I think that's 78 because I think that's Tom Reeder in the Fairlane, and he was there in 78, and he wasn't there in 79. I would have remembered that for sure. Tom Reeder in the Horse Sense Pinto.
Oh yeah.
From Michigan. That's Reeder's Pinto over there on the far side. Yep. There was he ran W. I think he ran W stock. It was either W or X. And I remember George Williams. I'm sorry.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. And then George Williams was racing the Vega wagon from back east, and he ran Z stock, and he was the only dime rocket stalker that was at Pomona in 79. 79, I remember, was the good year when we didn't have any bad weather like we did in 78. 78 was that really nasty year, if you remember, when it rained.
Move your mouse a little.
Move my mouse?
Yeah. Okay, I see it.
Oh, okay.
It's at the bottom of the car.
Yeah. When I double click and I expand it, does it expand for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, what I'm going to probably do here now, it doesn't show up on the main screen, so what I'll do is when I go back to edit the video, is I'll add the pictures in the best I can, and then the next time we meet up, I'll have the other software working where there'll be multiple screens and you'll be able to see we'll be able to share the activity and see the same thing on the screen at the same time. It's really what I wanted to do.
How come that picture has a 2020 on it instead of?
That's when it was uploaded. That's why. This is from.
Okay, all right.
Right. This one's from. This one, yeah, that's Dave Commel, exactly. Yeah, he went through and he uploaded a bunch of classics about the same time Rick Shute did. And then he went back, right, and then Dave had everything labeled, whereas Rick was still trying to catch up. He didn't have everything, all the cars identified.
Right.
Dave's done a pretty good job of that even through the years. Let me see here. I think this was the first. Oh, no, I have to. Yeah. Oh no, there's more. Yeah, that's at Bakersfield, I believe. That's you against George Thompson.
Yeah.
What I did is I cropped the picture because I wanted the focus to be more on your car there. But that's with the flat hood. I don't remember. That's at the county, and that was after you had set the record, I believe, in A stick.
No, because I still got the flat hood. I couldn't have set the record without the fiberglass hood.
Oh, okay. Well, you were dialed 1103 in that run. And
I used to dial the car pretty tight to what I could that particular night.
So and that's when you got one of your beards, and I don't remember you having a beard except that one time. The story that this is what I remember. I remember when you came out to the track with the beard. It was during the winter time. I think Dad was racing, but you weren't. You came out to talk to him. I guess it was after he did the cylinder heads on the car. And I remember I gave you a hard time about having a beard. And then I remember you came out with your car to run one Saturday, and the beard was gone. I said, "What happened?" He said, "Char got pissed off and got in the shower and clipped it off, took it off." Oh God, it's just what the mind does when it has nothing else better to think about. You know what I mean?
Right.
I should be sitting there. I'd be helping you with the car, and there was always 50 things to do, and here I am thinking, Greg's beard's gone. Where'd it go? And then I could just picture her coming in there and clipping that thing off. So you still have the car.
Yes.
And I mentioned my adventures running stock and said that the reason I got into stock eliminator and a stick shift car is because of you. I made that your fault. And I told you all the things they've done where I think now that stock has basically become a 9-inch wide tire super stock class. You got stock lift cam, and you have to run a 9-inch wide tire, but it just seems like everything else that's been made legal in super stock is pretty much legal in stock anymore, and it's made it really expensive.
Well, that's what I understand.
Yeah. And then all the havoc that Robert Pond created when he put his car in the 9s, it kind of makes this combination almost out of reach unless you got deep pockets. I don't know what your take is on that.
Well, I have not near enough money to go racing. So
yeah, well,
not let's throw out racing. Let's just talk about put the car back together.
Right.
So when I at the 82 winters, when I blew up the motor and the lights, I was able to repair the block no problem, but one of the cylinder heads valve broke and got crunched up in the cylinder head, and I had the head welded repaired and everything, and then I took it to a machine shop for them to machine out the chamber, and they did it backwards. They did it like the adjacent chamber on the wrong side. And so that cylinder head now is junk.
Yeah.
So now I got to find a pair of cylinder heads. So
and that's like you don't go out to. We're gonna have to cut this short. It looks like. Oh.
Is that why it's ringing?
I'm getting a text. I got to go meet. There's some stuff out in the garage that's been sold, and I got to go meet them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not like you can go to the local wrecking yard and find a genuine FE head like that, a real 427 head.
Right.
And now I guess they do allow the aluminum heads with the, but you have to take a horsepower. You got to take a horsepower hit, if I remember correctly.
I don't know why, because as far as I know, the aluminum heads are basically based on 390 heads. I don't think they make as much power as right. I'd have to put one on a flow bench, So. And
I know that guys are, they are going in there and carving stuff up and changing things around and hiding it. So, that's been a lot of talk. I know that a few years back when I was getting involved with my car, it seemed like all the Chevrolet guys with the I guess it was their square port heads. There's been a lot of talk of machine work and the acid porting, hiding everything.
Right.
And I've been told by a few people it's like in order to even be competitive in A or I believe AA is the is the better head. You got to do something to the head in order to make it work. So, any rate. All right, Greg, I hate to cut you short. At least I figured out part of this thing. We're going to make it work even better next time. And I recorded this, and I want to see if I can, I'll edit the pictures in. I'll show it to you, I think, before I post it.
Okay, boss.
You take a look at it, and I know there's a ton of people are going to want to see you and know how you're doing, and they'll be glad that you're still around. So
is that your phone?
Yeah, I'm getting text. I'm getting a lot of text messages all of a sudden. So, all right, sir.
All right. You
It's
take
finally
care, Gary.
Great seeing you again.
Yeah, same here.
Yep. And I'm going to write down some of the stuff. There's so many more stories you're going to be able to tell.
All right.
Yeah. All right, sir. Take it easy.
Yeah, man. You take care.
All right, you too. Feel better.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.